Before we get started with the video today, guys, I want to let you viewers out there know that only a small fraction of you guys currently watching are actually subscribed to my channel, so make sure to smash that subscribe button for instant updates about videos that I release and other announcements, and also smash that like button to help my channel out. Enjoy the video. Yo, what is up, guys? It is Samool here, back with another Epic 7 video, and I have some huge news for you guys. So this is going to be a very crazy event or anniversary going on for Epic 7, because Smilegate is actually going to give us a 5-star RGB selector ticket. Now, what this ticket does is that you can actually choose any RGB 5-star in the game that you want. Yeah, any single one, besides like the certain ones that are excluded at the bottom here. That's actually a crazy gift and one of the best anniversary gifts I've ever seen in a gacha game. Epic 7 is already known for their great rates, but Smilegate is doing a great job of making sure all the new players get the units that they need to actually get past early game. So yeah, for early game, mid game players, this is crazy good, because there are some insane units you guys can pick from that will make your game so much easier. And for late game players as well, it is still very good because you get a free 5-star unit, or you can get some nice imprints as well, which is probably what I might be doing. So yeah, I'm going to get into the top 5 picks that you should take into account for the selector ticket. But keep in mind, it really depends on where you are in the game, and I'll go over in depth about every unit. So starting at number 5, we have Krau. So Krau has always been a staple in the Knight meta. A very powerful unit in that he has a one-shot potential in his S3. His S2 is very nice for pushing back enemies and giving you that nice, sweet defense buff, which is very powerful in PvP. And the provoke at 75% chance when you mole it is very nice for locking down DPS units and tank units with 0% built ER. Now, PvE, he can be used in Wyvern as a tank, although he's not that great, but if you decide to use him, it's okay, I guess. He's also very good in Fire Expedition, but that's pretty much it, guys. He's mostly a PvP unit, besides like Fire Expedition, in my opinion. But in PvP, he's a beast. He's very strong on defense teams, especially Guild Wars defense. He is very good in offense teams as well, and he's just a monster in RTAs. First pick worthy. You see him picked all the time, either first or like 1-2 or 3-4 as well. There's not really going to be many games where he isn't picked, because he is one of the best, if not the best, Knight in the meta right now. Probably fighting for that spot with Fallen Cecilia and maybe Crimson Armin, because she is on the rise. So Krau's a very solid pickup for, I'd say, like mid-game players, late-game players that are trying to start to break into PvP, especially RTA, and you need a solid Knight player or Knight unit, because Krau is always going to be solid. He is pretty much future-proof because his S3 is just so broken, guys. It is just a nuke one-shot that you can basically just one-shot squishies and delete them out of the game while being a super tank with buffs. It's crazy strong. That's why he's at the number 5 on this list. He is a very good pickup for your PvP squad. And next, at number 4, guys, I have Roana. So Roana is very strong in both PvE and PvP. She is a Soul Weaver, so her S3 is going to be a AoE heal that will also give your team revive. And her S2 is her biggest strength. It's whenever your allies get hit by a counterattack or dual attack, you actually get what's it called, CR push and a heal. And it's actually a pretty fat heal, so it's a very good Rem counter, SSB counter, especially for Rem. She's like running around the meta rampant right now, so Roana is a pretty good answer to her. Also, her S1 is just a barrier. This is like okay. Some people run around counters such as to take advantage of this with like Celestine or something. But yeah, besides that, Roana is a very powerful PvP unit as a Rem counter. You see her all the time in defenses, also to like, counter SSBs. You can even use her in offense teams against like stuff that has a lot of counterattacks, like even like Violet, she might be okay. Also, Rem and SSB you'll see a lot as well in defense teams at the moment. You can use her as well there, and she's very powerful in RT as a counter pick. Now, PvE, she's still a beast, guys. She's used all the time in Hell Raid. You actually need her for Hell Raid auto comps. And she can also be used in Ice Expedition, where she is very powerful. Yeah, just a very strong, versatile unit. She's just a very powerful unit. She is a bit niche because her healing is very situational. You'll see you need to get hit by counterattacks and dual attacks. But in PvE, there's so many counterattacks and dual attacks. Or, counterattacks, I mean. And in PvP, there's also a lot of counterattacks and like dual attack units at the moment in the meta. So she's a very powerful pickup if you want something to solidify your PvP squad, especially your defense squad, and be of use to you in PvE, especially in like Hell Raid auto teams. And at number 3, guys, I have Violet. So Violet is a very powerful, newly buffed unit for PvP. You don't really use him in PvE, but the reason why he's at number 3, guys, is in PvP he is so strong at the moment. Like, he's a very powerful bruiser. When we go over his skills, so his S3 is just a single target attack, and when you have 5 focus, which you can build from S1ing and S2ing, you'll actually reset the cooldown of this. And when this is on cooldown, you have 35% evasion. And people run him on an evasion build like MLDB or Violet Talisman, and he's just really annoying to deal with. His S2 is going to be a Dispel on himself, and then he gets Perception, which is the same buff that ML Charles has, where you have crit chance and crit damage, which cannot be dispelled either. And you also heal yourself and get an extra turn. You get 3 focus. It's like a lot of focus, so it's pretty hard to have your S3 on cooldown if you play him correctly, and which is what you want to aim for, especially because of the evasion buff. And his S1 is going to be a single target attack that has a chance to decrease attack, so it will neuter some DPS units. And also, when you counterattack, you actually gain CR and gain double the amount of focus. And if you evade attacks, right, when your S3 is off cooldown, or actually even if your MLDB is up, or on him, I guess, you'll actually always counterattack. So you don't even need a counterattack set on him. Like, people run him on like lifesteal, and then you just heal so much because you're just counterattacking all the time because you're dodging. It's actually pretty funny because like Ravi is like kind of meant to counter Violet at the moment, and like, he can still win versus Ravi. It's like pretty strong. He also is very strong against Rem and Amelia, the new collab units. He's just a really annoying unit to deal with. He's kind of an asshole, guys, in PvP. He doesn't have much use in PvE, but he is rising super high in the rankings for PvP at the moment. I think if you are like a mid-game, late-game player trying to get into PvP, you guys should pull for Violet. I will pull for Violet. I actually did not pull for Violet when his banner came around because he was not that strong. But now for sure, I already have a skin, you know, I have the lifesteal gear ready. I'm ready to pull Violet, guys. He's a very, very powerful unit in PvP. At the number 2 spot, guys, we have the Wyvern Queen herself, Sigret. Now, as her title suggests, she is the best option for regular Wyvern teams and one-shot Wyvern teams. She will be your main DPS and debuffer, and she will be your one-shotter once you switch her to a one-shot build later on, once you start farming Wyvern late game. Now, in PvP, she does have some uses. You can use her as a RB counter. She does have Extinct in her S3. Also as a T-Cern counter, she has an extra turn in her S2 when you soul burn it. But besides that, you only really use her in PvE, guys. So yeah, just going over her skills. S3 is a Penetrate defense skill that'll scale with how many debuffs on the enemy, and also Extincts. So in Wyvern one-shot teams, you stack a lot of bleeds and then use S3 and do a lot of damage. S2 is going to be just a 2 debuff attack, and when you're below 50% health, or when the enemy is below 50% health, you'll actually S1 right after, which will always bleed as well. So a lot of debuffs, guys. Then S1 is a basic attack, but it has 2 bleeds. 70% chance for bleeds once you get her exclusive equipment for Wyvern, so she is very, very powerful for Wyvern, guys. If you're a new player and you're struggling with like Wyvern 11, Wyvern 12, and 13, Sigret will just make it a lot easier. Like, if you didn't pull her from your selective summon and you're struggling with Wyvern, you should pull her for sure. She will just make your Wyvern progression so much easier, and you actually use her throughout the entirety of the game as your farmer for Wyvern, so it's not a bad investment at all. And last, but certainly not least in any means, we have Tamarinne at the number 1 spot. So Tamarinne, okay, so this is why I actually think this RGB selector ticket is OP. It's mostly because a lot of players started playing when the collab came out with ReZero, or slightly before that when they revamped the game with the Rise update. And since then, there hasn't been a Tamarinne banner. Well, lucky for you guys, you can actually choose Tamarinne from this ticket selector, and Tamarinne is just the best PvE unit in the game, hands down. There's no contest, no debate. She's just that strong. You can take her literally everywhere besides Wyvern. You could take her in Azmarnak, you can take her in Golem, you could take her in Hades, you can take her in pretty much every expedition, every Hell Raid boss, and you take her in every floor for Abyss. She's just that powerful. So if you don't have her, guys, you should take her. I even consider newer players who don't have Sigret to even consider taking Tamarinne and just use like Alexa, Misty Chain, whatever, like a free-to-play team for Wyvern, because Tamarinne is just that good that you don't want to miss out on her, guys. So just going over skills, her S3 is going to be a skill that starts on cooldown, guys. It's a weird mechanic, but what happens is every time you use a skill, you reduce the cooldown by another turn. So to be an 8 turn cooldown, it'll take you about 4 turns to actually get this up. And what it does is it'll full heal Tamarinne, and then full cleanse your team, and then you go into idle form, and then you get another turn. So what is idle form, guys? Well, her S2 in normal form without her idle form is just a normal heal that heals everyone, pretty weak in my opinion. But in idle form, it is a heal that also gives everyone attack buff for 2 turns, and also gives a CR push, like a huge CR push, guys. If this is max Moled, which you shouldn't really do on Tamarinne, but if you do max Moled, it goes to like 50% CR push, guys. It's insane, and she pushes herself as well. So you turn cycle super fast in PvE. You get like literally everyone gets like 3 turns off before the boss gets a turn. It's just insane, and you have attack buff while doing it. And to make things even better, her S1, right? So her S2 is a 2 turn cooldown, so you can't use it every turn, right? So then other turns you'll have to use S1. Your S1 in normal form is going to be just a kind of like a Ruel Destina kind of heal thing. But her idle form S1 is going to be an AoE attack that doesn't heal, but it will strip the boss or the enemies of all of their buffs, and also triggers a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. That is some crazy mechanic, guys, because you're giving yourself and your team attack buff, and then you're forced dual attacking while stripping, guys. So Tamarinne has literally everything. Healing, she has DPS because she has a forced dual attack, she has attack buff, she has a cleanse, full cleanse, she has a strip. Just insane unit for PvE, guys. In PvP, you don't really use her though. She's only really used with like Issaria and like some cheesy teams, but that's besides the point. She's just that broken in PvE that you need her. Like, you actually need her late game as well for PvE to actually make, you know, the most efficient teams. So Tamarinne for sure, guys. Even people that don't have Sigret, I would still recommend Tamarinne, and you know, get Sigret a little later. You can also use some other units for Wyvern one shot anyways later on, but Tamarinne is just irreplaceable everywhere. She's just that broken, and she will just make your PvE progression so much easier so you can get into PvP faster, guys. So that pretty much covers my top 5 units you can get from your RGB 5-star selector ticket, guys. Thanks again once more to Smilegate for giving us this awesome gift for the anniversary. And also thank you guys for watching my video, and I hope you guys love the content. You guys can decide what to pick now. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It really helps me out, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.